Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to distance learning program. I am Ms. Shahnaz from South Kent Grammar School and we are with the biology class. So let's start our new lesson and with chapter cells and tissues, and the topic is cell organisms continuation, which we already have done our previous lecture. And page number today we are going to have with 71 till 74. Okay, now what we are going to learn in this video, we are going to learn again different organelles continuation. We have already done. What are the organelles? Organelles are small structures within cells that perform dedicated functions. Okay, yeah, and we have done with the nucleus. As you all know, the nucleus are well with the they do the function of the genetic informations. Mitochondria organelle we have already done, and which changes in the sun energy into chemical energy. And then we have ribosomes, which only the assemble the proteins. So what we are going to do today, we are going to do the endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, Golgi bodies, vacuoles, vessels, and lysosomes, plastids, and chloroform. These are chlorophyll. These are all the important organelles which perform very important function in the cell. Each and every organelle have their own function. Okay. So let's start with endoplasmic reticulum. As it is already named as in the shortcut, we use ER, located in the cytoplasm, connected to the nuclear envelope and found in the eukaryotes. How you can do that? Let's see. This is endoplasmic reticulum. We will go in the how we have divided the rough endoplasmic reticulum into and smooth endoplasm. Right here, what is the center location, which I want only to all of you to see. Look at it. Here is the nucleus, and it is at one side connected with the nucleus, and the other side is connected. It is connected with the Golgi apparatus. You can easily look at it, and ribosomes are also there here. So what is the actual location? We have seen that they are located are connected with the nuclear envelope. Then they are double membrane. Okay, that is they have outer membrane, they have inner membrane. Then they consist of a network of hollow. Two things are very important, which they, when we go with the structure, I will show you that they have flattened sheets and round sacs. Okay, hollow tubes, flattened sheets, and round sacs. Okay, flattened sheets are have the folds and sacs. They are called as cisternae. Now look at here the picture of the endoplasmic reticulum. Here you can see the very good picture of it. And what I want you to see in detail is the three types which we already have said. They have folds. You can see the folds are there, flattened folds, and they have the ribosome. They are like it, and this is called the cisternae, the foldings. And here you can see this one like a tube-like structure. So there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, which we have said here. And the flattened hollow folds and are called cisternae, and they are hollow tubes also. Then so on this basis we can define, we then just divide them into smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now how, why we are dividing it? First, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they do not have any type of ribosomes, as you already see. And rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have the ribosomes. Smooth involved in the synthesis of lipids, while rough involves the protein synthesis. The metabolism carbohydrates, they play role in the membrane production. So both of them have some different in their functions. What we are going to be clear here, look at here. Endoplasmic reticulum connected one side with the nuclear membrane. Okay, they are two types: smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. You can see the rough endoplasmic have a dots here, and these are the ribosomes, and they are hollow flattened structures which we call as cisternae. Okay, and they are the tubes are there, which is, you can say, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. They do not have any ribosomes. So there is the synthesis of lipids going on. Here the synthesis of the proteins are going on. So that is all about the endoplasmic reticulum. Then what are the ribosomes? As already we have seen here, these small dots, we call them as the ribosomes. What are ribosomes? Ribosomes are very tiny granular structure. They either they are free floating in the cytoplasm or they are bonded with the endoplasmic reticulum. As you have seen, they are bonded with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, and they are each are made of equal amount of proteins and ribosomes. That is, they are mostly attached with the protein synthesis. Okay, now we come to the ribosomes. I have made another thing so that ribosome structure will be clear. You will say it is a part of the endoplasmic reticulum. No, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have the ribosomes in it, and sometimes it is also free floating. You can now see the granular like structure. And then comes the most large body, that is known as the Golgi bodies. It is also called as Golgi apparatus. Yes, now you can see what a huge body it is. It was discovered by Camillo Golgi, and it is due to large size, it was easier to be observed. It is important. Why it is important? First, let's see the structure. What is important in their structure? The Golgi body consists of flat membrane bonded cell. Again, the same foldings you can see here. The foldings are there. Yes, see the foldings and the stack and membrane bond. These are again the foldings are the same cysterini, and again they have the small structures. It is packed with the enzymes and which modified package colors of the Golgi bodies. Then the other point is that they also consist of other transphase, like you can see secretory vessels are there. There is a incoming transport vessels, then there is a lumen. All these are the structure of the Golgi apparatus which help them in performing their function. Now, very good function is there. We call most of the Golgi apparatus as a post office. Why we call it as a post office? Let's see. One of the most important point we are going to study about the Golgi apparatus is that they are called as the post office of the they are called as the post office of the cell, post office of the cell. So Golgi body are called as the post office of the cell. What does the post office do? In the post office, all the letters from different areas are received, and they are sorted and then packed again and for the and then transmitted into the different areas according to their location. Okay, they are transmitted into according to the location. So Golgi body act as a post office. What is Golgi body doing? And Golgi body is synthesized. They take the proteins or whatever it is, and they enters the Golgi apparatus, and they consist of what they do. They are when they these proteins are transported from rough endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi body. Okay. What does the Golgi body do? Golgi bodies they modify them and then they pack them, and they modify them and pack them. Okay, then they modify and pack them. So here we will be clear about it, that what is our Golgi body is doing in a rough endoplasmic reticulum. Ref endoplasmic reticulum, what is doing? It is supplying the proteins to the they are supplying proteins to the um, rough endoplasmic reticulum is supplying the proteins to the Golgi bodies. And what does the Golgi body is doing? It is just its most important function is it is modified that protein and then pack them and in the form of and pack them. Two most important point, that is they are modified. They are which one are modified? The proteins which are synthesized there, they enters the Golgi body where they are modified. They are packaged in the form of vessel. Okay. And what is happening here? They are modified in the form of vesicle. vesicle, and then the transfer is to another location within the cell where they are required, and they are transferred to the any location within the cell where they are required. Location in the cell, location where they are required. Okay, so that is makes it as a acting as a post office. That is very important function. And the most important thing about the Golgi apparatus is their structure. Here you can see it, we can say it is a cis phase, and from the cis phase the protein enters from the endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi apparatus. And what is happening here? They synthesize them, they modify them, and then pack them into the into vesicle. Like here you can see secretory vesicle, and from transphase these newly formed vesicles are released. Like here you can see the vesicles are forming, and they are released in the as they are packaged into the vesicle, are released, and these transferred to any other location where they are required. So that is all about the Golgi apparatus or Golgi body. Now we come to the most important part, or most important organelle. And I hope from the one class we all know there are vacuoles. The plant cell have very big vacuole, and the animal cell have not a big vacuole. And so what is they, sometimes they are very small, and sometimes in the animals they are completely absent also. 2 points to remember. The vacuoles are a fluid, you can say here it is written is a large central vacuole in the case of plant. It is fluid filled spaces which are present in the cytoplasm in plant cell, and it is sometimes absent or it is present in very small, size is very small as compared to the plant cell. So let's, because it is present in the plant cell, it is has a, it covers most of the part of the plant cell. So we study the plant cell vacuole. Look here, the plant cell vacuole have a outer covering, a selectively permeable outer covering, and that is membrane is known as tonoplast. That membrane is called all tonoplast, which is a boundary from all the things which are present around the vacuole. And then this vacuole consists of cell sap. You can say it consists of a cell sap which is filling it, and this cell consists of minerals, salt, sugars, oxygen, carbon dioxide, enzymes, pigments, everything is present in this cell sap. And what does the cell sap do? Okay, the vacuum, they play important role in the hydrolysis and excretion of the cellular waste. So the vacuoles, what they do, they regulate the flow of the water by osmosis in and out of the cell, and then they play a very important role in excretion of the cellular waste. And then there is storage also, storage of water and organic and inorganic. So three most important function of the vacuoles come in our mind. That is they are as a storage of different of water, organic and inorganic substance. Second is the excretion of the cellular waste. Got my point? Okay, now where we are going to go? There are some interesting organelles there, vacuoles and vessels. Now vacuoles, we already have done it. Now we will dealing with the vesicles. So vesicles are the small, they are very small. You can say they are membrane bounding. It spherical. They are made in the Golgi body, as you already have seen, and sometimes in the endoplasmic reticulum also, or parts of the cell membrane. They are made like this, and they are moving material around the cell, and they are also storing moving material. Means that they are transferring the whole. They are as a transport molecule within the cell. They are transferring in the whole things here and there, as we have already seen in the case of Golgi apparatus, where the proteins are modified, then they are packed, and after the packet they can look at here the Golgi apparatus there, and here the vesicles are found, and they are packed and they are moved where they are needed most. Okay, so they are of different types. Yes, then is so you know what is vesicles doing in the Golgi apparatus? The post office is, and vesicle is the postman, you can say, who is taking that storage or that modified proteins to part of the cell where it is needed. And then we come to the Lysozymes. Lysozymes are the little stomach of the cell. They digest the macromolecules. They digest the macromolecules, and lysozymes are formed by the Golgi. Again, it is formed by the Golgi body and contain a very powerful digestive enzymes. As you can say, they digest the most of the macromolecules, like you can say the proteins, the lipids, the carbohydrates, and they are very abundant in the animal cells. Okay, they ingest the food through food vacuoles. When the cell dies, the lysozymes releases its enzyme and digests the cell. The structure is vesicles of the digestive enzymes are there. Okay, all organelles are going to die. And when the cell dies, the lysosome releases enzyme and digests that cell. So you can say that they digest the whole thing and clean up you. That is one of the name given to it. It's very interesting to learn about the cell. The whole functions are going here. There are some cleaning people. There are some postmen. There is a post office there from where the things are moving from here and there. Okay, then come to the centriole. What is the centriole? Animal cell contain a special organism which is called as centriole. The centriole is a cylindrical tube-like structure that is composed of 27 microtubules arranged in a very particular pattern of triplet in rows. Triplet in rows, you can say like they are arranged here in triplet structure. You can see they are they mostly very important role of these centrioles are during the cell division. When cell starts dividing, the centrioles are responsible for organizing in the microtubules so that the position of the chromosome in the correct location. That is all done in the when the cell division is there. After that, they are just present there as a tube-like structure. Now come to the plastids. Plastids. Okay, the last organelle we have is the plastid. They are large cytoplasmic and major organelle found in the plants and algae. Their function is that they are site for the manufacture, stores, and most important thing, they have contains the pigments where the photosynthesis are going on. So what we are going to learn from here are let's see what are the plastids doing. What are the plastids doing? Let's have a look of the plastids. We often misconcept is our that there is only one uncolored pigment that is known as chloroplast, and they contains the pigments for use for the and present in the plastids are different. Like you can say there is a chloroplast. Chloroplast is a green color pigment. Chloroplast is a green color pigment and found in the plants and algae. Found in the plants and the algae. Okay. The other one is the chromoplast. Chromo means color. Okay, so chromoplast is the color of like orange color is there, and it is also it contains the red, orange, yellow pigment, and they are responsible for the color of the plant. Okay, they are responsible for the color of the plants. Then flowers or the leaves, and then come leucoplast. The other is the leucoplast. Leucoplast is the colorless object. It is totally colorless. It is totally colorless as plastid, and the color of the plant flowers such as orchid is controlled by special organelle in the cell known as chromoplast. Okay, so there are different type of plastids. Chloroplast we will study in detail. Chromoplast responsible for the orange, yellow, and you can say that they are responsible for the they are in the common color. You can see in the flowers, in the autumn leaves. Then comes the leucoplast, which is totally colorless. Okay, then we are going to repeat ourselves where we are. Yes, we are was with the centrioles. Now we come to the chloroplast. Here you can see the structure. if we just cut open the chloroplast, we will find the outer membrane, and then we have the stack like thylakoid are there. And let's study the structure. Before going to details of the structure, let's see. I have chosen for you two main type of structures, like here you can see, and here. First is the, you can, when you go inside, there is a lamella, act like the skeleton of the chloroplast and maintain the distance between the thylakoid. Here you can see it is a very clear lamella. Then you can see the one, what is a thylakoid? It is a sac-like structure. Here you can see this sac-like structure when they are arranged in the form of a stack. Okay, one upon other in the form of the stack, like here. This stack is called as a granum. Okay, and all these grana combinedly in the plural state, they are called as grana. First is the granum, and the stack is of the thylakoid, and the plural it is known as grana. So I hope the picture is clear. And thylakoids, you can say disc inside the chloroplast contain the molecule which is known as a chlorophyll. Let's see the structure. All this is written in your book. They have double membrane organ, outer membrane, inner membrane, gel-like structure covers the stomata, and they have a stack-like structure called grana and singular grana. Each grana has a stack of thylakoid disc and is found the green pigment. That is one of the very important. Let's give you a detail so you can easily go through it. A very simple way of understanding the structure of the chloroplast. Chloroplast is first I start with the disc-like structure. If I say this is a disc-like structure, it is a thylakoid. Thylakoid are the disc-like structure, and they are responsible and for the, they have a chlorophyll, and on it molecules sit on the surface of each thylakoid. The chlorophyll molecule, they are sitting on the surface of, you can say they are just sitting on the surface of each thylakoid molecules is there is a chlorophyll. Okay, now this thylakoid, let's again they are arranged in a form of disc-like structure. It's I cannot make 3D, but it is they are arranged in a stack form, and this stack form is called as a grana. Okay, in the plural form we call it a grana. Okay, and and in the singular form it is called as a gra in the singular form it is called as a granum. Okay, this is the plural form. It means that we have a lot of thylakoid stack, and this is known as grana. And what is important is that in the this is this like this one structure is called as a thylakoid. Okay. So that is a very beautiful reminding me the organelles of different organ present in our cells. So cell is a very active structure, and it do so many work is going on. Everybody is doing chloroplast. If it is a plant cell, it is doing its own work. Then we come to the centrioles. As soon as cell division start, the centrioles start doing making the spindles, like here you can see. They for the microtubules are made. Then we go through the lysozymes. They are the like our stomach, they digest all the things. But if the cell starts old organelles go to die, they go and clean up you, and the clean ups all the broken down organelles. Okay, then and we gone through the vacuoles and vessels. Vesicles, we know that they are formed either in the Golgi apparatus or in the endoplasmic reticulum. They are the moving material. That is, they are the storage, but they are taking all these proteins, whatever it's synthesized to different where parts of the cell where it is required. Okay, and then comes the vacuoles, which is not present in the animal cell or present in a small structure. Then comes plant cell vacuole, one is present largest vacuole, bordered by the membrane, and called tonoplast. Okay, and there is the most important Golgi body, which is the post office of our cell, and we have done in the detail. Now, the last most important thing will be our homework. So don't go away. It is a very small homework. Slightly, you are going to write the definitions. Cystine, you all know now what it is. Leucoplast, then it is a colorless plastid, centrioles, vacuoles. Okay, just give me the definition and nothing more. Why Golgi bodies are considered as the pore socket of the cell? You are going to write it down on that in the Golgi bodies. The proteins which are synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum, they enters the Golgi bodies where they are modified, packaged into the in a then transported vesicles which transport them in the way in the cell way it is required. Then you can draw the structure of Golgi body. Either you can take from my slide, or you can take from the your page 71 reference. Figure is 4.24. Okay, so inshallah till next slide. Allah Hafiz.